I know that ain't who I think it is.
Yeah, it's me. The villager is back. We're going to try to get that sound down, make sure it's not burying my voice. I know some of y'all don't want me to be heard, but I've kind of got to be heard if I'm going to do this, right? So I'm going to keep the sound to where I think it's bearable and my voice can be audible. And before I jump into what I'm going to jump into, because the title to this stream is Black Democratic Politicians Are Selling Black Americans Out. It's very vague, very ambiguous, right? But I also want to say that the Meritorious Manumission Series is going to continue on the Villager on Deck channel. So for everybody that caught that on the Freedman Media channel, those Facebook Live videos that I was doing with the Meritorious Manumission Series, we're going to continue that, okay? And this is actually one of the ways that we're going to continue it, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play a clip of something, and then I'm going to jump off into what I need to jump off into, because Black Democratic politicians are selling Black Americans out. We've got Eric Adams in New York City. We've got Brandon Johnson in Chicago. We've got the Congressional Black Caucus. We've got new Black politicians getting into the wheel and getting bought out. I mean, before the first year is up, some of these Black politicians are being bought out. They done fed them lobster and crab and prawns and caviar and filet mignon. They done drank the best drink, ate the best food, and they done got fat. The political donations are just continuing to roll in to keep their fruitless missions going. And with that being said, we know that Black politicians gonna come for the Black voter, but they're not gonna do anything for the Black voter once they get into office. So where I'm at with this whole thing is, are we voting blue no matter who still? And if it's a Black politician, are we still not gonna hold them accountable still? Because y'all brought up that whole vote blue no matter who thing, and it had a nice little chime to it, and now people done picked up on it, and y'all can't get out of that. I know I'm firmly in a independent space now. I'm not going to be able to just say I'm gonna vote blue no matter who with a good conscience. I know some of these elections you have to vote a straight ticket to get your ticket in, but you know, some people I just won't vote for. I can leave things blank if I need to. I can write in candidates as long as I stay on the right side. But I gotta play this clip because it was unbelievable to me when I first seen this clip. When I first listened to this clip, it's really actually listening to it. Yeah, there's not much to see. It's just somebody who's reporting on it, and hopefully he's gonna be safe, because I think he's in danger now that he's put something like this out. So let me get to this clip real quick, and then I got to get to some stuff that's really about the village, because this is outside the village. But I told you, if it's outside the village, it's something that's going to directly affect the village. And that's why I'm doing this one here today. I'm doing this now because we are in a sanctuary territory. New York City is a sanctuary territory. Chicago is a sanctuary territory. And a lot of these sanctuary territories that Black politicians are in and doing things in, they are not advocating for Black Americans. So what I'm going to do is I want to play the clip, and then when I come back, talk about the clip, and then get out what I need to get out about the village. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me get this screen share up. This is crazy. And I'm actually going to minimize the screen so you can see what I was seeing before I watched this video. Let me go ahead and cut that music off real quick. Okay, I'll cut that off. But this is what I saw. New York City, exclusive. Carlos Arellano worked inside the largest migrant hotel in New York City. The Row, NYC, he exposes almost 5,000 illegal immigrants are living a block away from Times Square. I don't care where they live. It doesn't matter to me. I know they want to put that spin on it that it's right next to Times Square because that's where the bread is being made. I don't care. I don't care if they're Times Square, Central Park, Harlem. It don't matter. It's 5,000 illegal immigrants living in a hotel. Let's just wrap our heads around that. 10 to 14-year-olds are getting drunk. Trashed hotel rooms, guns, violence, and theft from local stores. Boy, they better call in the supreme felons, right? Because that's who stops all that stuff. That's who's got the sauce. That's who's got the juice. They need like a NYC SF. I told them about that copyright strike too. They better figure that out because San Francisco figure out that they using their shield. They're going to say something about that. Y'all got to get y'all own logo. There's a couple logo makers around here. Get with OPO and them. You know, they can make y'all a logo. So y'all ain't got to really worry about that stuff. But, you know, that's a whole nother thing. That's actually about the village, but it's not really, you know. So let me stay on it. Let me stay on pace. I digress. So, yeah, this is what's going on in New York City. Check this out.
I was a side administrator at the Row Hotel. So in the hotel, we have close to 5,000 migrants. If anything involving this hotel, I was helping run it. Everything ranging from doctor's visits to medication is paid for the migrants. Anything you can possibly think of, it's being given to them. Car seats, cribs for newborns. There's, I want to say, at least 2 to 3 babies a week being born at this hotel. The migrants being in those hotels have destroyed them. There's a lot of alcohol in these rooms. Housekeeping is there all week, and they'll clean it. And by the end of the night, there's kids getting drunk together. There's people hooking up with each other. There's multiple guns in these rooms as well. The alarming thing is that this hotel is meant to be a family hotel.
You were actually showing me some text messages between a social worker about a drunk 10-year-old in this hotel. Can you talk to us about what happened there?
Yeah, it was a drunk 10-year-old who was caught with a 14 and a 12-year-old, and all 3 of them were intoxicated. And when we looked them up in the system, the parents had checked out 2 days ago.
So their parents just left them there?
Yeah, the parents will leave the kids unattended in the hotel. We heard a security guard start yelling, there's a gun on site, there's a gun on site. It was probably an upset person that we had kicked out of the hotel. I myself had been assaulted. I've seen other people get assaulted. I've had threats saying, you know, we'll be waiting for you guys outside. There's been times where staff has had to be, you know, escorted to their cars, to their trains.
Because the migrants are threatening them.
Yeah. Often at times there was migrants causing chaos with shoplifting. The one instant where I showed you that video, aside from being caught shoplifting, they started getting physical. And a lot of the times it was, you know, go calm the migrant down, get them inside the hotel. I've been doing this for 5 years. And in my 5 years, this has been the worst experience by far. The city of New York does not know what they're doing, and it's only going to get worse from here.
That's crazy. That's literally crazy. New York City is in trouble. I think Chicago is in trouble. I think any area that cannot control these situations dealing with sanctuary territories, dealing with the overflooding of illegal immigrants is in trouble. I don't know about Washington County. I can't say that Washington County is in trouble right now. I haven't heard about these types of problems, but then I'm not in all of those circles. I only see what I see. I only experience what I experience. But what's happening in New York City is happening in one hotel. This is what you really need to wrap your head around. This is only in one hotel. So what's going on in the other hotels that all these immigrants are in? I'm sorry, they're not immigrants, they're illegals. Illegal migrants, I guess. Fugitives of justice. if something like this came to Washtenaw County, I don't even know how people would respond to something like this. Where could this happen? What if something like this happened like in the hotels over in the Briarwood Circle area, and there's multiple hotels over there that are housing people from other countries? And what if they decide to just, start breaking into the mall at night and start breaking into the restaurants at night and start breaking into all the neighboring businesses at night? I mean, it's no Times Square, but it's in the center of Ann Arbor. It's the major shopping mall. There's a bunch of restaurants around there. There's banks. There's all types of stuff. What if there starts to be chaos like that in Washtenaw County? What happens to Washtenaw County? Is Washtenaw County prepared for that? Is WCSO prepared for that? They got the tanks and all that stuff ready, because that's what they're going to need. They don't need to bring the tanks, and y'all going to be able to roll up in no Explorers and no Tahoes. Y'all going to need some tanks. Y'all going to need to put the gear on. WCSO, Ann Arbor, Pittsfield, Saline, everybody going to have to band up. You're going to have to bring in multiple agencies, MSP, everybody's going to have to band up if something like this happens in Washtenaw County. 10, 14-year-olds drunk in a hotel room, being left by the parents checking out, leaving the kids there. Y'all good. Y'all got a place to stay. They're going to bring y'all food. They're going to take care of you. They're going to clean up the room. We out. Where the parents going? Said 2 or 3 babies being born every week. Where are they putting them? How do babies get medical care? Who's taking care of this situation? Babies being born up in the hotel? You already overcrowded. Now you got an infant in there. How many cribs does a hotel usually have for people that bring kids into the hotel? So you just got people on top of people on top of people on top of people on top of babies. Go and let there be a couple infant deaths up in there. It's your little kid deaths, and it's going to be all kinds of issues. They're going to find a body in that hotel. They're going to find a body in that. They're going to maybe find a couple bodies in that hotel. There's some illicit behavior going on in just one hotel in New York. He just said one hotel, and they said they everywhere. And that's Eric Adams, the Black Joe Biden. He called himself that. He called himself the Black Joe Biden. I know y'all wasn't up on it when he said it, but yeah, he said he's a Black Joe Biden. And Brandon Johnson in Chicago, he just dropping Latinos off in Black neighborhoods like candy. Y'all gonna be good. Now, why don't he just take them over to where their people at and they speak the same language? No, put them in there where the Black people are. We're gonna give them the resources. We're gonna keep displacing Black folks. I don't know how they elected that boy to get into office in Chicago. Brandon Johnson is something else. Something else. So what I need to get to real quick, because I ain't going to be in here long. I ain't going to be here long at all. We've got this community engagement meeting coming up on Tuesday, May 30th at 6:30 at the White House over on Packard, 1885 Packard, right next door to Ypsilanti High School. Their focus is district transportation. But I anticipate that there's going to be a great presence for Crystal Harding. I've already heard rumors of some things that's going to be going on. I plan to be a participant in this. You don't have to show up because I'm going to be there. You might not show up because I am going to be there. It don't matter to me. I'm going to come support my sister because she needs to be back in that classroom. Something that was brought to me, and I was wondering why the support, the public support had kind of waned. But, people get on to different things and they go in and just, I'm a little different. I kind of stay with things until I am pushed to move forward. I can't move forward until I find out that she's going to be put back in that school. I can't forget about this. I can't let this go until I find out that she's going to be okay. Because see, when somebody else comes and picks up the baton and they run with it, then I'll leave it alone. But ain't nobody else came and picked up the baton, so I'm gonna sit here. I ain't had none of the Ipsy brethren and none of the Ipsy sisters just pick up the baton and say, we got this over here. So until then, the villager on deck is gonna be on deck. Right now, I'm hearing that parents and students, we already knew teachers had been threatened not to say anything public, not to have anything air on public TV, online, social media, nothing, nothing. They would be dealt with by the school board if this wasn't held up. So teachers were taken out of the paint immediately. They were probably told, you know what? You're going to get what Crystal gets. You're going to get what Crystal gets if you speak up in public, if you say something about the school. That's probably what they got. But as far as parents, I've been hearing about parents and students being told not to say anything. And students, they would actually use retaliatory situations with the students. What you going to do? Fail the kid? You know, expel the kid? What you going to do? I mean, you're telling parents and kids that they can't speak up for a teacher that they believe in. You've already told the educators that she works with, her colleagues, to not speak up on her behalf. But then you went to another step and told the students and the parents to stand down. When is this investigation going to start? School's almost out. When are they going to start the investigation? The day after school? The day after school is over, that's probably when the investigation going to start. It'll go all summer. And then what? There's nothing legal that they're doing right now to keep this woman from working in that school. But I guess they can say they good because they paying her. Well, what kind of fools are y'all be paying somebody and you're not going to get a conclusion? You're just going to continue to pay her? What do you think, she's just going to retire? You're just going to keep shipping the check every 2 weeks, but not let her back into school? There's got to be a voice of reason here. Somebody's got to step in and be like, she either did something and we bring her in for a hearing and we figure that out, or she did nothing and we bring her back and get some of this work out of her since we paying her. We are paying her. So yes, this situation is happening Tuesday, community engagement session. I know their focus target is transportation, but people are going to be up there speaking up for Crystal Harding during public commentary. The community needs to come out. The community needs this woman back in the classroom. Speaking of transportation, Ypsilanti needs bus drivers. I told my friend that I would put this up. This is the second or third time that I've launched it on my stream. Hopefully other people are talking about this as well. Hiring full-time bus drivers, $20 to $24 an hour, $3,000 sign-on bonus. You got insurance or cash in lieu of insurance, retirement package, and paid time off. All expenses paid to become fully endorsed. 734-484-7044. If you know somebody who is eligible to do this job, get them in there. Get them in there. If they're eligible and they're in need of work, get them in there. This is a real thing here. And then we don't have to worry about kids being left at home or left at school because there's not enough buses or not enough bus drivers. Let's handle this. This is about the community. Just like Crystal Harding is about the community. It's about the village. We need good bus drivers in the village. You know, I know that there's been situations in Ann Arbor. They don't talk about their stuff. They try to keep their problems quiet, act like they're gonna go away. But these problems are really, really loud in both cities. In both cities. It's really loud. And it's bad. And it's not just Ann Arbor and Ypsi that this is happening in. It's all around. But those places aren't my village, and that's why I'm not talking about them. So I think I want to jump back into that. Right. Yeah. So I don't know if this event is going to continue to happen on the 10th of June. But you know, I've promoted the Men Like Us Skilled Trades Fair. I promoted it before, and I hopefully, did y'all run tell artist that? Did y'all run tell artist that he promoting your stuff, man? Just like you went and tried to tell him that I was talking about him or talking about Nate. I'm always gonna talk about Nate. Y'all already know I'm on a pedo's helmet. But artist hadn't done nothing but host a function that Nate hosted. That's the only thing that artist had did. And I told him, I was like, hey, that's business. You breaking bread with him? Okay, that's your business. But he's still a pedo, and I'm still gonna talk about him because he hurt children. Once you hurt children, you on my radar, you in my sights. So hopefully this Skilled Trades Fair still goes off without a hitch. It's supposed to be for the youngins. It's supposed to be for people re-entering society. Maybe you got some youngins re-entering society. You've got skilled trades, journeymen, entrepreneurs, all types of people are welcome to come showcase their business. They're also going to be looking to provide hands-on training. So if this goes off, then y'all should be in good shape. So but it's at 3011 East Michigan Ave, Ypsilanti, Michigan, June 10th. So that's not next Saturday, the Saturday after next, if it still goes off. I'm saying if, because I heard there was, a fracas, and I don't know if situations have changed or they're going to stay the same. Hopefully they stay the same. They can still pull this off and help some youngins out here, help some re-entering citizens into society with their skilled trades careers. Hopefully they can do that. Okay. Like I said, I'm gonna promote what I view as good. And I think this could be a good thing if some youngins or some re-entering citizens can get some help. So let's see what we can do there. All right. We can do that. Run Tell Artists. Make sure y'all run Tell Artists. Y'all be thinking it's just in my mind, but it ain't in my mind.
In my mind.
These clowns they be trying to run and tell. Who you trying to run and tell? What you trying to run and tell on? Just because you pull somebody's chain don't mean they gonna bark at me. Okay? Don't mean they gonna bark at all. Hell. But Ypsilanti schools, we got to get it together, because we got to get Crystal Harding back in that school ASAP. And stop threatening folks. Stop threatening kids. Stop threatening parents. You done threatened the teachers. You got the educators totally shook where they can't stand up for their colleague. That's a shame. How dare y'all? That's just bad news. That's bad business. Bad business. But Tuesday night, we got a chance to speak again. And I don't know if this is the last session for the board, but let's just act like it is. And if there's another one, let's show up to that too. But Tuesday, May 30th, 2023 at 6:30, 1885 Packard Road, the White House, right next to Ypsilanti High School. Be there. Don't jump on YouTube and try to do public commentary because they don't allow it. So come show your face in the place. All right. We need that. We need that. I want to be standing in the hallway, giving my cheer up to ladies. I gave my cheer up to a couple ladies last time. Then I ended up just not saying, and when you come to the door, I want to be right there. I just want to be right there.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to see people opening their door, people that I ain't seen in a long time, just be like,
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Exactly. That's what I want. That's what I need. That's what I'm looking for. So y'all be good out here, because I ain't going to stay here long. Like I told you, I had to get in and get out and get something. So I'm going to end it with this video so y'all can see what's going on in New York City, and hopefully it don't come to Washtenaw County. I mean, because this is nuts. This is pure D nuts.
Side administrator at the Row Hotel. So in the hotel, we have close to 5,000 migrants. If anything involving this hotel, I was helping run it. Everything ranging from doctor's visits to medication is paid for the migrants.
Damn.
Anything you can possibly think of, it's being given to them. Car seats, cribs for newborns.
Everything.
There's, I want to say, at least 2 to 3 babies a week being born at this hotel.
2 to 3 babies
The
a week.
migrants being in those hotels have destroyed them. There's a lot of alcohol in these rooms.
What?
Housekeeping is there all week.
What?
And they'll clean it, and by the end of the night, there's kids getting drunk together.
Kids.
There's people hooking up with each other. There's multiple guns in these rooms as well. The alarming thing is that this hotel is meant to be a family hotel.
You were actually showing me some text messages between a social worker about a drunk 10-year-old in this hotel. Can you talk to us about what happened there?
10 years
Yeah,
old.
it was a drunk 10-year-old who was caught with a 14 and a 12-year-old, and all 3 of them were intoxicated. And when we looked them up in the system, the parents had checked out 2 days ago.
So their parents just left them there?
Yeah, the parents will leave the kids unattended in the hotel.
Bouncing.
We heard a security guard start yelling, there's a gun on site, there's a gun on site. It was probably an upset person that we had kicked out of the
getting heaters
hotel.
at?
I myself have been assaulted. I've seen other people get assaulted.
Stop the gun
I've
violence.
had threats saying, we'll be waiting for you guys outside.
Y'all need a
There's
gun
been
violence march.
times
Y'all need a
where
gun
staff
violence
has
march.
had to be,
Come on, man.
escorted to their cars, to their trains.
Because the migrants are threatening them.
Yeah. Often at times there was migrants causing chaos with shoplifting.
Man.
The one instant where I showed you that video, aside from being caught shoplifting, they started getting physical.
Wow.
And a lot of the times they would
Throw that sign.
go
Throw that sign.
calm the migrant down, get them inside the hotel. I've been doing this for 5 years. And in my 5 years, this has been the worst experience by far. The city of New York does not know what they're doing.
You're in trouble.
And it's only going to get worse from here.
He said it's only going to get worse from there, y'all. It's only going to get worse from there. And if that wasn't bad enough, if it's going to get worse, there's going to be bodies. There's going to be some babies dying. There's going to be some adults dying. There's going to be a lot of sexual abuse. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. I mean, what can make it worse? They better get a gun violence march in there. You know what I'm saying? They better get a gun violence march in there. Call up them orange jackets. Get them to NYC. They can afford it. They can afford it. They got that bag. They can afford it. First class flights to NYC. They got that sauce. One love.
You know, this revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word, right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the black people...
I know that ain't who I think it is.
The black people in the whole world are demanding is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us...
My man.